Good afternoon, everybody. This is a Roaming Prepper channel, and I started a little bit early. Work's been kind of all over the place. Hey, Loretta, how are you? Hello, Van City, and everyone who's going to slide in here in a little bit. My voice is clearing up a little. My sinuses are still a bit of a mess, so it may be a slightly shorter live than I normally do, and I won't be as loud and exuberant. Hey, Joe, Heroic Prepper, what's up? All right, here I'm salty with Heroic because he gave us the Jersey weather out here in Texas now. So, or the Canada weather, I guess. No, it's a little too cold even for you guys. We're gonna be at 19 and freezing rain tonight out in West Texas, which is gonna suck because people have no perception how to drive on ice, and then they forget and they have wrecks. So um, yeah, I really can't blame I can't blame Heroic for that. Um, and y'all, I think everyone's going to get it this time. I think Joe's and well, everyone in Canada's got cold already, but Joe, you had some snow recently and ice too, didn't you? So you're having all sorts of fun there. By the way, the dog crying in the background is actually not the corgi, it's the fluffy one, Jackson. He's in dog jail because he found it appropriate to run up behind me and bark for absolutely no purpose other than to scare the crap out of me. And yeah, and then the corgis took exception to the fact that he barked at dad and they ran him off. So I guess it's kind of protective custody for him because if I let him out, the girls will kick his butt. So, oh man, good Lord. Oh no. You know that song on TikTok? Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, that's what's playing in my head when I see stuff like that. Um, yeah, so anyway, Jackson's in protective custody. We're on day 12 now. This is why people bulldoze towns in Colorado and do other terrible. I could see that. You know what popped in my head, Joe? Remember the scene from Gremlins where they steal the guy's is Samich in here? Samich! Yeah, it's protective custody, Lucky, because he offended the corgis and the girls ganged up on him and they were kind of kicking his butt and throwing him around over there. They thought it was fun. He wasn't having fun. So he's in protective custody and now he's pouting about it. Um, no, Joe, that comment reminds me of the scene in Gremlins where that one gremlin steals the old man's tractor with the bulldozer blade on it and goes tearing through the town. Really? See, and it's so funny because the Ukrainian government's like, well, we're ready, but there's really not much we can do. And at the same time, what we're hearing over here is a lot of, the war drums. And actually, this I thought was interesting. I saw this article. This is from the drive. Let me see if it's a video. No, it's no, no, I appreciate that, Lucky, and thanks for letting me know because I'll jump back and check on that. Hey, Prepper for Life. Wow, that's so you still have family in the Ukraine. So, has anyone watched the stock market today? Yeah, of course, because how many millions of dollars will be spent in China? Okay, now you can go pick your war. Um, and then right after that, China will make a run on Taiwan just to keep it exciting. You're half Ukrainian. Do you speak the language at all? Because that would be cool. Um, hey, Gene, how are you? So, get an article and let me see if I could share it with you guys. Again, I'm doing the one screen thing in the kitchen. I was going to start cooking, which is why I set up here. And then Sassy emailed or texted me and goes, I'm getting salads from Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, that's awesome because I don't have to cook those. So here we go. And let me know if you can see that. Let me make my little dude tiny. There we go. So it's well, that's an aircraft carrier. So the article says Navy puts carrier under NATO control as Russian ships converge on the Mediterranean. Um, so now we've got at least one carrier task group in there. I'm assuming there's two that are all going to jump in on that. There you go. You know, I started taking the, and lucky you, probably you and Heroic and a few others may be familiar with the Sigma 6 concept, the continuing improvement cycle. So what I'm doing now, instead of making myself crazy, I'm doing one task. Like I'm going to inventory batteries and say, okay, I need batteries this week. And that's my focus for the week. And then I shift gears and check juices. And but yeah, that's your focus this week is the raised beds. And folks, that's a great way to prep, by the way. It's to pick a topic and say, okay, I need these items and make that the focus of your week. So you're not like doing batteries one day and then solar panel the next, and you're all over the map. Um, yeah, if you wait, are you doing them indoors or outdoors? Hey, color drop. Yeah, yeah, the green belt, black belt. Most of what I got from that was when I did my MBA, because the guys who actually took the class were like, we they could have just summarized that in an hour, but they make you do all these belts, and so the teachers can charge you thousands of dollars. But yeah, the continuing improvement or Kaizen cycle, that's good. But Lucky, I'm curious, are you going to do those indoors or outdoor rate? I'm assuming outdoor, like, is it going to be covered or is it exposed to the elements? Okay, and you're in if you're where I think you are roughly, you get a way more rain than we do. So that outdoor thing should work for you pretty good. Um, so anyway, this article, U.S. Navy supercarrier USS Harry Truman, along with its associated strike group, are now under NATO command and control as part of a major exercise called Neptune Strike 22 in the Mediterranean. That's right now, I believe those Russian amphibious ships are kind of cruising through the Mediterranean headed for the Black Sea. So that's a heck of a lot of warships, all maneuvering and launching aircraft and helicopters in a very small space when you think about it. US 6th Fleet turned over operational control of the Truman and its strike force to Naval Striking and Support Forces NATO today, marking the beginning of Neptune Strike 22. That includes the San Jacinto, which is an Arleigh Burke. My brother was on one of those. The Bainbridge, the Gravely, the Dunham, along with Carrier Wing 1 and the Royal Norwegian Navy frigate. And I can't even say that name, so I don't speak those words. Your mom has had it. Well, it's definitely more rain than we get, but less than what I used to get in Houston, because there you went outside and sneezed and it rained 2 inches. So I'm working on raised beds this week too, spreading rabbit. Oh, that's rabbit poop. Okay. I just saw a little thing. I was like, what the heck did she put up? Um, oh, that's awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate you checking, Gene. Um, but this is interesting because, and granted, this isn't the first time. This is not an abnormal thing for NATO to do. Is we all train together and one country assumes command. But the timing is scary. There's a lot of saber rattling going on right now, and I'm really concerned that someone's going to screw something up. The French announced that the French Navy carrier Charles de Gaulle would train with the USS Truman, along with the Italian aircraft carrier ITS Cavour next month, but it's unclear if it'll be part of Neptune strike. Let me see if I can open up that picture because that would be Well, that's cool. So I don't know. Can you guys see that map? Is it decent sized? Yeah, depends on how much rain they get. They can quickly wind up below sea level. Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, I need to do that. I've been putting it off. I really just need to get a batch, and I got the book. I read the book. I'm like, okay, I understand what's going on here. So I just need to get. Uh, so guys and girls, thoughts? Should I just, while I'm looking for the pressure canner, should I just go buy a batch of mason jars? Because I'm starting to hear the lids and the jars are getting hard to find. So let me know in the chat if you think that might be a good idea. Okay, so in any case, let me see if I can make it. Oh, okay, it opened a different. Hold on, it opened it in a different screen. Let me see if I can. Ah, doggone it, it won't do it. Hold on. All right, so in any case, let me see if I can expand that a little bit. Nope, won't let me do that either. Well, shoot. Okay, so it looks like what you're seeing up here in the right, that is where the Russian frigates are training, and the amphibious ships are actually cruising past all these NATO ships. So, yeah, I recall them starting to get really scarce when the Rona kicked off. So, yeah, I actually found some extra rings, and I don't even have a canner. I went and bought them because I use the mason jars for other stuff. Yeah, okay, I might do that. That'll be a good way to budget it out because if I can't find the pressure canner, because I'm going to go straight to pressure canning. We hardly ever make jelly or use jelly in the house. We don't have kids, so it would be more like vegetables and meats and stuff. I had to order, and there I sold my jars in Florida. See, that's my big fear, Gene, is my next reload. The company usually packs stuff right out of our cabinets, like they pack the dishes and all for the engineers at my level, and I'm afraid they're going to break the crap out of everything. Although they did a good job last time because they got all my wine bottles and a lot of other food stuffs that they technically weren't supposed to take, but they packed it for me anyway. I had to sign a little disclaimer that, if a bug gets in it, I'm not going to hold them liable. And but I'm afraid if I get a bunch of jars, they'll get torn up on the next go round. But yeah, that's if you look at let me see if I can share this other screen because it's a little bit bigger. Hang on just a sec. Let me share. I think you can see it a little better. No, on this one. So you see, we've got a lot of vessels in very close proximity, and right here by Turkey, Istanbul, those straits are a bottleneck. So you're going to have a lot of vessels traveling right on top of each other, and that's just going to increase the likelihood someone's going to screw up. Um, Harvest Guard reusable lids. Okay, I'll check those out. Okay, I have some of the basic tools, but not all of them because what I've been doing is dry goods, beans, rice. I was using bags, and I didn't seal one. I put one in a location that I didn't think what I was doing, and we had a critter actually chewed through the bucket into the mylar and killed because I guess they could smell some of the remnants in there and killed the bucket. And then my lab at the time killed the critter, and I had to clean both up, and that was kind of gross. But ever since then, I've been using mason jars since it's only two of us here. But see, in the stews and meats, Tattler lids can be reused. Okay. Can you find those on Amazon? Because that would be really good. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of oh, that'll be fun. See, that's the kind of stuff I want to can. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. Thank you. Um, oh, your mom made the pharmacist cry. Well, they should play nicely. We're supposed to take care of our elders, and they're not doing that. So, um, although it may be the manager's fault. But yeah, a lot of things moving around, and my concern is, and I'm sure a lot of you, is somebody's going to screw up, right? This is what I'm seeing is. Oh, thank you, Lucky. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, take note of that if you're canning. That's good stuff. Um, with so many things going on at once out there, so I've heard two schools of thoughts. One, Russia is trying to create a buffer with NATO. NATO's trying to puff up on Russia, and they're going back and forth. Um, Someone else has pointed out that it's a distraction to distract the West from the fact that a bottle of bleach now costs $6, and that's freaking crazy. And eggs are, $4 for a dozen, or wherever the hell they are now. And there you go. I have a lot of. Hey, Tennessee, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. Uh, but yeah, folks, and so speaking of the distraction path, right? Somebody had messaged me and said, "Man, maybe this is not even a false flag because nothing's actually happened yet. They're just causing a big scene over here, so we don't look at the fact that our cost of living has gone up in the double digits." And then I saw this article, and I don't know if you guys have watched me in the past. I've actually said, watch the financial pages because they don't try to cause panic. Because if they do, then investors sell off and they lose credibility and they lose their jobs. Like, if you're a shitty financial investor or advisor, you're going to get run off. You won't last long. And then I saw this article, and where it was posted concerned the crap out of me. Let me see if I can. Hey, Ark, this is on Forbes, folks. The Forbes website. S&P 500 is on the brink of a crash. Not a correction, right? A correction is 10% or more, but a crash. That's not comforting. Um, I found, hey man, I actually went today and the juice section was decimated. There was stuff. I mean, you could find juices, but it was really thin, and there were bottles knocked down, and it looked like it does before a hurricane. And the eggs were down to like the bottom few. They put them in crates at HEB, and it was like the bottom few cartons of each type of egg were there, and the milk was thin. So, like juice and dairy was very thin, but the processed meats seemed to have product, but there wasn't really a run on it. It's really, yeah, it is weird. It's very hit and miss. Hold on, ice cream. Comrade said we're good. And it could be. Now, Man City, my fear is they're trying to distract or create some kind of political puff up for whatever purpose, and someone's going to screw up, either screw up or they'll literally screw up, and somebody torpedoes something, and all of a sudden it escalates. Because this is exactly what happened after the Austro-Hungarian Archduke got killed before World War One. a bunch of countries moved their troops around, and then something set it all off, and it just came unraveled. So, okay, so guys, yeah, that's good advice too. Check the online if you can't find it at the stores. Yeah, so Forbes is saying this, and hey, Jeep, howdy, howdy, Prepper Cowboy. Right, and this is from Forbes, so I'm going to read it to you. Actually, I'll throw the link in there in case you guys. Let me see if I can remember, because the dupe. Let me know if that went through, guys, because it looks weird in StreamYard. Okay, it posted. Let me see. Can we listen to it?
S&P 500 on the brink of a crash. By Clem Chambers. I'm
Can you
no
hear
fan
that?
of being a bear. I'm a long bull, and anyone who has read my material on Forbes for the last decade or so will have seen me make many bullish predictions of highs that came about.
Oh, it's the
Even
Siri
over the
voice.
last year or two, while many have called bubble, and I have not disagreed, I have said the market is still going to bubble and go up more. The simple reason has been the Federal Reserve has had the markets back. It has real estate's back, too, because those are the two simple asset classes that affect us all the most and the simplest levers to support the economy in times of emergency. It seems that many people do not understand that the inflation now in our economies is the only solution to a just an economy that has just suffered an economic disaster as we have in the last 2 years. The best way to save an economy from a drastic
Can you hear
collapse
that?
where even good assets become
Okay, thank
temporarily
you, Lucky.
worthless and almost everyone is tipped into dire straits, is to print oceans of money and let inflation smooth the process of bridging the chasm between disaster and recovery. The smoothest way to do that is to inflate the price of real estate in the stock market. So here we are near a high point of that process. However, you must stop printing at some point or inflation gets out of control and you go, Venezuela. And the wheels come off the economy in other awful ways. So the stimulus and printing must stop sometime. What? No, build back better stimulus. You can even see politicians turning the taps off. Make no mistake, that wasn't a mistake. We are at the terminus of printing oceans of money, and that is spoiling the stock market party. I wrote that while the S&P 500 goes in a straight line, you should be long, because this is the sign of linear support from government liquidity operations. Well, here we are with that straight line looking suddenly wonky. To me, this signals potential trouble. The narrative about tightening and interest rate rises, which are not necessarily the same thing, spells risk off for market players. And if the Fed is really going to hold the anti-inflation line at the current levels, then this glorious never-ending bull is dead. It's not all over yet, but it is certainly on the cusp. So the call is, can or will the Fed let the market crash? Can it hold up? Will it hold it up, or will it choose to take inflation out of the economy by letting the economic gravity of the current post-COVID global economic situation deal everyone a haircut that the bail out everything strategy of the US government and the Federal Reserve has forestalled? I think it's 50-50, but the half chance of a crash has a very significant downside. For many stocks the crash has already started, but that would just be a prelude to much worse. As such, an investor needs to keep their finger hovering over the sell button, because without the Federal Reserve having the markets back, it's going to get nasty quickly. On the plus side, if you can dodge a big fall and buy the bottom, you will do very well, and for me this is the situation to consider now.
So sorry about the Siri voice. I thought it would actually be a hey Hutch. I thought it would actually be the guy's voice, and it was a stupid Siri voice. But that's interesting to see an analyst, and the guy who wrote the article is Clem Chambers, CEO of stocks and investment website ADVFN, as well as running Europe and South America's leading financial market website. You can find me on Amazon, CNN, Sky, Business News Network, and the BBC. So, this isn't a complete schmuck. This is somebody who, this is what they do. Well, what's funny, Tennessee, I wonder if it was planned and then they started losing control of their plan, and now they got like the shopping cart when the kids push the cart at the grocery store, but there's a hill, and so they lose control of the cart. Now the kids are chasing the cart. That's what I think's happening right now. So they're causing all this this scene over in the Ukraine. And like my friend said, he was like, well, maybe they want us to be looking over there. My concern is you got so many people trying to do so many things. Okay, so I said earlier that someone could screw up in the Ukraine, right? Well, someone could equally screw up in the Fed, whether they screw up on purpose and claim it was a screw up, or they just screw it up. Yeah, no, actually, yeah. Okay, so true story. Uh, when people's kids don't behave around my wife, she will cart check other people's children and then go, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she's small and she's got a cute face. So people are like, oh, it's okay most of the time. Sometimes they get pissed. But then she taught my kids this. So my kids were hitting other children with apples in HEB. That whiny kid in the aisle, and they're like, eh, and all of a sudden an apple hits them in the side of the head and they go down. That was my kids. Yeah. So quick way to get the kid to stop crying, right? Because they literally go into shock when you hit them. They'll fall down. The kids will just, and both my sons got thrown out of a Walmart because somebody's kid, and this, when I say kid, this was like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old child. It's almost a teenager, was stomping feet and threw themselves on the ground. And you could see the mom is like in a sad state and she's trying to get the kid up. And the kid gets up, stomping his feet like a 4-year-old. And my son, Greg, the lacrosse player, man, he has an arm and he's accurate. And he beamed this kid with a Nerf. But the other brother said, Daddy hit him so hard that the kid went head first into the display behind him. And then the kid sagged just as the Walmart manager turned the corner. And he's like, guys, out. You don't do that. Um, but yeah, that's a great way. So yeah, our family's notorious. I know kids cry because they don't feel good, or the babies, they get overtired and they have that tired cry. But when you have a 12-year-old being a douche and throwing themselves, no, no. Um, I actually saw my friend's kid do that, and the mom was trying to get him up. I said, I have a solution. I'm going to pour my Coke on your crotch if you don't get up, and you're going to look like you peed. I kid you not, that kid got up like that. So, mental note, you can also embarrass them. Peppermint, that's not something you eat. Go play over there. She freezes and she looks at me, and she makes her ears big. What? Okay, here's uh well, it's funny, Tennessee. I've told kids stop doing whatever they're doing. Uh yeah, see, that's I'm sorry. Well, my kids did it when they were little, like 5, 6, and they throw a tantrum, and you take them to the car, you get them home, and then you issue a correction, ground them, whatever it is needs to be done. By the time they're 12 or 13, if they're still acting like that, you have a problem, because they're going to hit 16, 17, and now you have a full grown ass, physically grown young adult in your house who's acting like an infant. But a 17-year-old young man can hurt someone, or even a young woman. So yeah, uh, I can tie a pickle up in yeah. So anyway, peppermint is by the way, corgis run at 24 miles an hour. I did not know this, and then now we have two, and it's like fast moving fluffy potatoes running through the house. um, Yeah, exactly. The little ones, little 4, 5, 6-year-old kids, they're very small. They don't understand, but that's when you correct them. You correct them when they're young. However, you feel it's appropriate to teach them so that when they're 17, they're not getting in your face, because then you have a different problem. Oh yeah, 3. So 4 becomes the age of huh. That when you tell them, hey, don't do that, and they hear you, and then they go, huh, because they're trying to act like they didn't understand. Watch, between 4 and 5, they get the age of huh. Now you have the age of no. Then it'll become the age of huh. So, oh, hold on, I was gonna kill. Yeah, or they're burning down stores like they did in Dallas. One of my colleagues was in Dallas, tried to go visit another affiliate office, and she texted me and said, "Hey, I couldn't drop off the box. She had some equipment she was going to drop off." She said, "I can't drop it off." I said, "Are the guys not at work?" She said, "There's broken glass all around the building. They waved. They're cleaning it. They told me come back tomorrow." Just so yeah, those are the 27-year-olds that go break out your windows. Um, yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh wait. So he got yelled at by your mom and dad, and then got yelled at by the doctor. That's funny. That's bonus. So no, and it's funny because I've had relatives leave like a nephew or a niece with me, and you can tell which kids have been shown and taught, and if necessary corrected, and the ones who run amok and scream and spit. And I'm notorious among the cousins for popping kids in the back of the head with rolled up magazines because it makes a real poop sound when you hit them. And I'll roll it up so it has a nice air gap in there, so it makes that sound, and just dunk. You don't even have to hit them hard, and they immediately go into shock. They like hold their heads. You'd swear a meteor hit them, and they're looking up because God hit them. And if you do it right, you hit them and you keep going, and they look up because they think God hit them. My uncle called that the fat hand, and he was Russian, so that was fun. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, now my sons are, especially the youngest boy. No, my daughter too. My daughter has given the ugly eye to teenage girls. Um, she scares them, which is good, so they don't mess with her. But yeah, I'm that bad, probably. Um, so aside from Forbes, then I saw this other article, and they're like, it's not the finance situation may not be as bad. We're jumping. We're totally squirrel today, guys. So I'm sorry about that. Um, so it said after one of the wildest days on the stock market, here's what you should be doing. And so they asked the guy, it's like 5 questions. It's like, why are the stocks dropping? And he said, corrections are a normal course of market action. Uh, Stocks are pulling back due to mixed company earnings and worries about rising interest rates. The year is starting off with ominous signs. The winds have changed. The Fed is not only raising rates, they will no longer be pumping money into the economy. A lot of that money has found its way into the stock market. And then they say S&P 500 dipped into correction territory. Should you be worried? He says a 10% move in the market, not a cause for concern. We have just become spoiled over the last few years. 5 to 10% happen every other year since World War II. Unfortunately, the market usually bounces back fast, and now it's not. So could we see it drop and even more? And he says short term, the key is the Fed commentary on Wednesdays. So tomorrow, today's Tuesday. So tomorrow, I guess, oh, it is tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Fed will tell everybody if they're going to raise rates. If so, they just indicate they will be raising rates gradually, and it's likely there will be only 3 to 4 small hikes this year. The market may be relieved. Investors, long-term investors, should know they can't pick a bottom. Uh, a 10% decline is a good entry point. So if you guys do invest, that is squirrel. Joe. um, so if you have, what are you barking at? Mom's not home yet. Hey, crackhead. Anyway, oh, it's the UPS truck. It's her enemy, UPS. She doesn't like that truck because they knock on our door and piss her off. So what he's saying here is if you are an investor, buying low, when there's a market drop and you have the money to invest, you can buy low and follow it when it comes back up, but it may take a little while. Keep in mind when the market starts to drop, the safe havens, the treasury bonds, which treasury bonds, but silver and gold go the other way. So you're going to probably watch silver go up as the market goes down, and then they'll even out. So pay attention to both, because you might luck out and notice silver drops, and then you can maybe place an order uh, and save a few bucks on the other end. So just, if you do invest in precious metals, kind of watch that stuff. I'm no analyst. Hey, Angie. Slippers. That's a chancla in Texas. And I'm sure Lucky's going to laugh at that one, and everyone else from Texas. Yeah. But hey, Angie, I'm glad you made it. So yeah, it's they say the key is not to try to time the markets. Retail investors tends to underperform the professional investor because they allow emotions to rule the investment. Stay the course. Look at the long-term benefits. So basically, the market's going to be squirrely. It's reacting to what they think the Fed's going to do, but they don't know yet. So again, a lot of moving parts, guys. You got the Ukraine situation. I don't even know what China's doing. They're getting ready for, and notice you hear nothing from China. And now that they're getting ready for the Olympics, the athletes are arriving. North Korea stopped launching. You know why? There's money there, and China's probably called Kim Jong Dong, whatever his name is, and said, "Hey, cabron, don't launch missiles while we have the Olympics because you're going to freak everyone out." And yeah, and I have my own opinions about how the Fed's set up, but that might require a whole different chat. Um, but yeah, you guys, you got a lot of overlapping things to watch, but look for those opportunities. And that business guy had a good point, not just in stocks, but like y'all were pointing out in the chat, if you find the mason jars, grab them, let your friends know, hey, I found mason jars. Um, if you can order things in advance or online and kind of spread out your costs a little bit, that's a good thing. Like Lucky said earlier, she's focused right now on raised garden beds. Um, Focusing on that, yeah. You know what I've discovered? I have taught everyone in my regular chats how to curse different words in Spanish if they didn't already know. So, um, but, but focus your efforts a little more. Try not to, because it's easy to go squirrel, right? You're like, oh, I need food, I need batteries, I got to get the car oil changed, and you can make yourself nuts. Just pick a topic, stay with it until either it's done or you get it. Give it a time frame. I'm going to work on this week, and then you're like, okay, I've stocked up on dry goods. Okay, now next week is batteries. Then the week after that is, I don't know, go get pew food, right? And get food for your pew pews, and continue to focus that. Uh, well, he is kind of a cabron. I mean, he's kind of a pendejo, and honestly, I think his sister is way more clued in than him. His father picked him, one, because it's a very patriarchal country, but two, because he had a bad temper and it cracked the dad up. And I would think, man, if I was like a leader or king and I wanted to pass it down to someone else, um, Joe's having a blast with these people. Um, yes. Okay. So for those of you, now that's not a Puerto Rico phrase. That is a Tex-Mex phrase. Pinche is kind of a combination of to be cheap. Like, oh, he's being pinche, he's being cheap with his money, and broke ass. Like that broke ass thing doesn't work anymore. It's pinche cosa, right? So yeah, and so if this woman in San Antonio went to the, yeah, it is. It's Tex-Mex. It's not pendejo jungo. Yeah, pretty much. Cohete bastardo. See, now everybody's having fun here. I should do the Spanish bad word class in one of my chats, just how to curse in different languages. Get my daughter's boyfriend on. He can teach us bad words in Russian, which I already know. And yeah, basically, it's like pendejo. Pendejo could be stupid, like dumb, like you don't know what you're doing, you've broken something, pendejo. But it could also be you're just being silly, right? You're showing your ass and running around like an idiot, and everyone's like, "Que pendejo," because he's being stupid. So, man, Joe's having a blast with this. Is your mom yelling at someone? Tell her to call the person pendeja and see what the reaction is. So, uh, but in any case, so look for those opportunities while the market's doing this shit. If you do invest, maybe sell some stuff while it's a little bit inflated, have some cash in the ready. It's never hurts to have some cash somewhere. And then, reinvest when something goes low and it'll come back eventually. Um, Option B is move it somewhere else, move it to precious metals. Uh, just do a little research, and the same thing for your preps, right? There's a shortage of pasta or whatever it is in your area. See what you find. They get that stuff in on sale, like HEB, the blue box, the Barilla pasta was wiped out. But I'm assuming you meant Gaelic, not garlic. Um, Bugmachom, Bugamachom. All right, I'm gonna have to remember that. There you go. I was like, what are you talking? What garlic? What? Oh wow. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. I know enough Spanish and German to get myself in trouble. Oh, I've been thrown out of bars in New Orleans when I was younger because of the what French I do know. I said the wrong thing and out I went. So, well, oh, so coffee was depleted. Yeah, it is fun to learn. So interesting. We find coffee here. There's a private provider out here. He provides. He's a private roasting company. It's a family. It's a couple. He got laid off back in 2015 from the energy sector, and he loved coffee and he did it as a hobby and he started selling it and it took off. Um, I asked him, "Are you having a hard time getting fresh beans in to do the roasting?" And he's like, "No." He said, "But I don't go through normal channels." He says, "I have reached out to individual farms in Bolivia, Argentina through like I guess like a co-op, and he was able to source them through a group of coffee roasters here in the States. So it's kind of like a co-op on both ends. It was a bunch of independent roasters here. He became part of that group, and then he was able to order from a bunch of independent farmers in South America. And he said, I've had a steady supply of beans. It gets a little thin at times, but I've never lacked. Well, we don't need details on the get it. Hey, Red, what's going on? I'm still seeing it, Red. I don't know if Red's or Lucky can comment on the coffee in their area. I've seen pretty decent supply. At times it gets a little thin, but I've never seen it wiped out. But the eggs were kind of thin today, which was weird. Um, by the way, the pasta, so the blue box pasta was gone at the local stores, but if you go down that same aisle, the generic pasta, there was some. And then the bougie pasta, you know, the organic stuff, that was in droves. They had quite a bit of that, but it's double the price, right? Um, but then you go around in the HEB, you go around the corner, and there's rice, beans, and these little pastas that are made in Mexico. It's basically pasta, right? Shells and noodles, and but they're in little bags. And by the way, one little bag fills a 1 pint mason jar for those of you who can find them. And they had a slew of those, like cases of the things open, and people were just kind of plucking out. So, yeah, yeah, we were talking about pinche Lunchables and some cabron in Russia. No, the cabron was in North Korea. The pendejo is in Russia. Actually, Putin's far from a pendejo. He's super smart. The bougie pasta on clearance for less than store brand about a week or two ago. And see, those are the kind of things I'm saying. A lot of people are not looking at like the gluten free or the organic because it's like, it's too expensive. And at some point, the store has to move them, regardless of the market. They're going to drop the price. I actually found ground beef was manager special. It still had 2 days to expiration, but it was fresh ground beef in the pack, the big pack, and I bought it. And right away, as soon as I got home, I broke it up into 1 pound increments, and I pulled out the food saver and sealed them and froze them. So look at those, look for those deals when the market's acting like this. I got one more article for you guys if I can find it. And I lost it. Hang on a second. Oh, here it is. My bad. One more on the economy. So I just worked a wreck a little while. I was sure for something we talked a while. He said suicide. He had suicide. What? Hold on. I got a picture of Joe Biden making music. That's so weird. So that's just strange. Anyway, Lily. Oh, that's not bad. So look for that, guys, because at some point the stores have to move that product, right? Or it spoils, it goes bad, they have to throw it away. Also, if you're not averse to day old bread, you know, the bakery sections in a lot of the larger uh, grocery stores, the day after, they put them on half off. And I mean, you can still toast them. I mean, it's not super fresh, but it's edible, and you save 50% of the price. You know, this is stuff my dad told me they did during the Great Depression. So, I mean, there was something to it back then. And I was blessed. My dad wasn't a boomer. He grew up during the Depression. So, what I was told, he had me later in life. So, what he told me was at the time was like a cool story, but now it's like, you know, so coffee poop has really, yeah, no kidding. Okay, color drop. Cook. What are you cooking? Everyone wants to know because that is a recurring theme in my lives is making dinner. Um, so last one for y'all, and I'll play this. Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? So I guess it's just music. So now they're trying to do like an antitrust thing, kind of like FDR did, but I don't know how valid that is. I mean, I'm on board with competition. I think that's a good thing. It keeps companies honest. IRS wants you to file a tax return. Oh, wow. So the IRS is screwed up. Imagine that. Has a more affordable pickup truck. Heck yeah. Right. Bitcoin took a dive, which was weird. All right, so a few tidbits of info on Jackson's still protesting over there. But they did say, so I'll read the article, I'll bring it back again. So low gasoline demand coupled with the recent market sell-off will keep prices of gasoline from rising too much, barring a conflict between Russia and Ukraine formally breaking out. In a blog post Monday, analyst Dahan estimated that oil will likely remain north of $80 a barrel with additional volatility as they watch the geopolitics play out across the ocean. Prices could rise more significantly if the situation deteriorates, because keep in mind, Russia is shipping natural gas to NATO. They get in a fight with NATO, they're going to probably turn off the damn gas, and that's going to cause a whole bunch of other stuff. He doesn't project any immediate fireworks at the pump. He cautioned that the trend of rising gas prices will likely persist as worries continue to overpower weak global consumption. The average national price for a gallon of gas is $3.32 after surveying 150,000 gas stations nationwide. Dehan estimated that clear increase at the pump could start very late February or early March. So, yeah, yeah, that was a good haul, by the way. Yeah, and definitely do some homework, diversify yourself if you can. If not, make sure the hey Texas Mama, make sure that focus. Take the time. Now's a great time because it's kind of a lull, even though it's inflationary. Take the time to hit specific things, your pasta or your dry goods or your batteries or your juice, whatever your topic is, animal food, pet gear. Don't forget to prep for those guys. I have to get a little bit more cat food, but for the outdoor cats, although one's an asshole, I don't know why I feed him. Although he does bring me dead stuff every now and then. Yeah. And honestly, I'm watching it move, and as certain things move, I'm selling it, and then I'm sitting on the funds. I'm not putting it back in right away because I'm like, uh, so thank you, Gene. Well, you know what? Freezing, it's a really good idea. And if you have, depending on the size of freezer, you should be able to run it even on the mid-size Jackery charging power bank, and certainly on a small generator. My biggest concern, and I need to replace the generator I got rid of, is to keep the food cold. Even if I just turn it on the freezer 1 hour every 6, 7 hours just to freeze everything again. Um, that's a big concern for me. But yeah, I got extra cat food. I was worried about it not being there. Yeah, it's been a little hit and miss. And I've noticed the quality of the pet food is starting to suck. It's not kibbles anymore. Like you open some bags and it's like half powder. I mean, the dogs don't care. They eat the powder too, but it's not. Yeah, yeah, I'm still a little zoned out. It's a little bit of a brain fog. My voice was coming and going today. I've been drinking lemon water, with basically literally lemon juice and ice water. And that seems to have helped. And plus, it's a big vitamin C bomb, which probably doesn't hurt either. Um, but yeah, he does. He brought me a dead tarantula. That was new. I've never had a cat bring me a tarantula before. This is the same cat that brought me a dead copperhead while he was limping because his leg was swollen because the copperhead bit him. And so he should be dead. Like, I think I feed him now because I think he's a zombie. Yeah, I don't know. Um, oh, lucky that was a freaking thing was like that. It was all bloody. I mean, he killed the shit out of it and then brought it to the front door. And I'm like, well, good kitty. Yeah, what do you tell him? I mean, you give him a treat, you collect the offending object, and to the trash it goes, and the cat feels redeemed. Yeah, I do need a generator. I was hoping to do a solar generator, but it's hit and miss with all the components, and it's way cheaper and easier to just get a gas one, and then I'm going to have to then figure out the gasoline as well. So, oh, okay, you're in a part of the world, part of Texas. You got tarantulas too, yeah. I mean, it was a beautiful spider until he killed it. But he's also brought me big rats that come from the fields behind us, and you can see where he bit them on the neck, or he took them down, or one of the cats took them down, and then they just leave it there, and they sit there, both cats, quite proud with the dead thing. So like, look what we have done, sir. Uh, yeah, no, dude, I gotta send you a pic. I'll email you a picture of the damn spider we found in one of the deer feeders, and I knew it would be in there because they like to hide in there. So I went with cattle gloves, because I don't know if there could be a damn snake in there. And I opened it, and the spider came. And my coworker, I'm not a small guy, but he's a big boy. He comes over and goes, "Fuck you, dude," and runs away. Literally ran away and got on the pickup truck. I'm like, "Can you at least throw the corn down, man? Because I got to deal with this moron in here." And yeah, yeah, I haven't seen any out here. Although there was a scorpion when we first moved in the closet on one of Sassy's blouses, and she picked it up to look at it, and the scorpion just came running. A little scorpion came running out and was like, "Whoa!" And I heard this blood-curdling scream. The dogs went charging into the room because they thought something was killing mom, and she's running out. And yeah, it was a little scorpion. Uh, so yeah, we have that was interesting too. That was new for us as well. So guys, look for those deals. If you have friends, especially like there's a bunch of Texans, Tennessee folk, Arkansas, um, send each other emails. And if you go to a store and you're not finding whatever pineapple juice or AA batteries, text your friends or people in the area and say, "Hey, has anyone seen it?" Instead of hitting 5 or 6 different stores, using up your gas and your time on the weekends and dealing with all the idiots, just have someone find them. And heck, if your friend says, "Hey, I'm looking at pineapple juice right now," just say, "Hey, I'll Venmo you $10, buy me 2 bottles." Collaborate, save the time on the gas. The gas is going up. Don't spend and waste time shopping 15 different stores for 5 items. uh, you got a bunch of people looking for you, and you look for each other, it'll help. But well, anyway, gang, I'm going to wrap this one up because I can feel my voice starting to go again. um, but yeah, look at that. Husky. I'm surprised the husky didn't get like a bite on the nose, get a swollen snout. Um, but yeah, and yeah, we've been hit and miss, but it's not too bad. But HEB has a shorter supply chain than some of the others. That's why they don't struggle as much because they're sourcing a lot of regional. But in any case, guys, look for those opportunities. Look for those cost savings, right? Um, that stuff can save you money and time. And collaborate. Talk to the other parents at the school, talk to your friends and say, "Hey, look, I'm looking for this. I can't find it. If you see it, tell me what it costs. And if the price is reasonable, Venmo them the money or give them a check later and have them grab it and then meet halfway." Don't spend half a tank of gas at 3.30 a freaking gallon going to 8 different stores. I mean, you just raise the price of your groceries, wasting gas. So, but in any case, gang, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to send the dogs out so they don't have a riot in here. You guys be good, be safe, and keep an eye on the market because it's doing weird shit, and I don't like it, but I'm no expert. I just don't like it. So I could be wrong, but in any case, guys, be safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch you guys. I should be briefly on a panel tomorrow night if they still do it, and then you should see me Saturday unless I'm on a road trip somewhere. You guys be good and be careful out there. All right, just a lot of weirdness. Y'all take care.